Hi guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show, recording this on the Wednesday morning, new comic book day, 22nd of February. And just going to take you through all the new stuff that's come into the store, take you through the new releases that are going on the racks this week, go through the variants, just little bits and pieces here and there. So, store-wise, in the last week, obviously if you've been keeping up with us on social media, I've been doing a lot of back issue top-ups and organisation. So, obviously the last few weeks, done Suicide Squad, done The Flash, done Venom, done Keenan Black, done Absolute Carnage. So quite a lot being done there. And then this week I spent about 8.5 hours doing Transformers stock. If I never see another Transformers comic, it'll be too soon. But no, it was good to do because we still have so much stock upstairs. Obviously a lot of it is on our website, but some of it isn't. It's just such a sheer, large volume. So it just takes time to go through that, make sure the copies aren't on the website, take them off if they are, because the store will always come first. Anytime we have stock, it'll always go into the store first, and then any extras will go into the online catalog, so to speak. So yeah, as I say, Transformers was the big one done this week, and I must have got anywhere between 200 to 300 issues of that out. So the next section I'm probably going to do is Dynamite. I need to do a lot of the Red Sonja, Vampirella type stuff. So yeah, that keeps me busy all the time, of course. There's been plenty of stock coming into the store as well. I think I mentioned it last week, but I've got a big omnibus delivery coming that should be here this week. So I may do a slightly different video for that. It hasn't arrived in time to do in this one. What else? We've got CGCs are all away. So if you dropped in CGC books with us in the last couple of months, they're all away and have all arrived in London. Then obviously go from London to Florida, get graded, come back, etc., etc. The next send-off cut-off point won't be until the end of March, so plenty of time to get books in for the next time we're sending off. So that is that. But yeah, I'm going to get to all the stuff that's in this week because I'm recording this at 8:45 in the morning and I still have to set the place up. So, but yeah, we'll kick things off as always with variants, and there's quite a lot of really cool variants this week. I seem to have ordered bigger on variants this week than I normally would, so clearly a lot of them caught my eye. But yeah, we'll kick things off. We have an homage cover. That may be a theme of this week as well. So Thor number 31. This is Mahmoud Asrar, obviously working after Walt Simonson. An homage cover to the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. We have Batman 131. Now 132 is the latest issue, but they've been doing second printings for 131, as this was the start of the new arc, the Batman of Gotham. And Jorge Jimenez he's always done these design variants. They're usually 1 to 25. But they've used it as a second printing variant this time. This week's he's released Batman One Bad Day, Clayface, the second to last of the One Bad Day series. And of course, Jim Lee continuing to do his variant covers for the One Bad Day series. We've got Batman Superman World's Finest number 12. This is a Dave Johnson variant cover. I had to look at this closely because at first I didn't understand why Batman's mouth was so grey. But it actually looks like the bottom half is Gotham, so it's all enshrouded in darkness and shadow. And the top half is Metropolis, so it's all bright sunshine with Superman. This is an older one, but it was one I ordered ages ago, and I've just been waiting ages for it to come in. We had it at the time, it sold out quickly. It's one of my favourite variant covers of last year. This is Batman vs. Robin number 1, and this is a Joshua Middleton variant cover with Zatanna, clearly a character DC is not utilising enough right now. For those of you who like elongated shapes and maybe slightly iffy human dimensions, we have Catwoman 52. This is the Sweeney Boo variant cover. Those are some very long legs. Someone said in our group chat, Rob Liefeld did your heart out. Next up we have Deceased, War of the Undead Gods number 6. So this is the homage variant cover. There's an homage every month with Deceased. So done by Jeff Spokes. For this one, of course, it says Straight Outta Gotham at the bottom of it. Is of course an homage to NWA's amazing album Straight Outta Compton. So a few of those. We got GCPD, The Blue Wall. This is a Jorge Fornes variant cover. Quite a simple image, but really, really class. You also got Montoya there, carrying over the top of Two-Face, and then the shadow of Batman watching. Speaking of Batman and great covers, we have Lazarus Planet Omega, the last of the Lazarus Planet one-shots. And this is a fantastic, absolutely stunning Riccardo Federici variant cover. Next up we have Travis Moore continuing to do his great work on Nightwing. This is Nightwing 101. And this variant cover is of course depicting the Titans, obviously in advance of the Titans relaunch coming up soon and coming up in May, I believe, from Tom Taylor and Nicholas Scott. But yeah, Nightwing 101. There's that man Riccardo Federici again, this time doing Superman #1. Again, lovely cover. Really enjoyed the first issue of Superman. I'm a little ahead of my reading this week, which is nice. Next up is a new James Tynion IV title called Blue Book, and this is a Virgin variant cover done by Jill Thompson for that title, which looks really, really good. Looks like a conspiracy tale. He does love his conspiracy. Definitely one of my favorite covers this week is for a new title from Whatnot Publishing called Liquid Kill, and this is a Metal Gear Solid 2 homage variant cover done by Rob Cannon, who was one of the Whatnot Publishing's founders. And then we finish off with a mashup cover variant, which is for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, #3 as well. So all variant covers all going out onto the shelves today. So as I said last week, I'm going to just not bother with doing my pull list every week, just in case there's titles you see that maybe we don't have in, or there's variants that only I get, stuff like that. So what I want to do instead is always just go through the new releases going out. So these are the titles actually going out onto the racks. So what we'll do is I'll pick out all the Marvel here. Quite a lot this week. Again, a few facsimiles as well. So again, as I explained last week, 90% of what we order in goes into pull lists. I try to guess, I try to see what's popular, I try to second guess what people are going to want, and obviously get in starting points and stuff like that. But pull lists really are the only way to guarantee titles every week. So first of all, we have Thor #31, so Torunn Grønbekk continuing on. I see Donny Cates' name is on there, maybe a story credit along with Torunn. And we have Nick Klein continuing on the art. We have Punisher War Journal base, so this is the third of the Punisher War Journal series. If you're on the Punisher series, I put this in your box anyway. Torunn Grønbekk again, double trouble. And these are always serve as one-shots, but they link very definitively to the Jason Aaron run at the moment. We have new She-Hulk out this issue this week from Rainbow Rowell. As ever, those gorgeous Jem Bartel covers. Then we have a new issue of Star Wars Yoda. We're up to #4. Jodie Hauser continuing to work on that one. One of our more popular Star Wars titles. Sins of Sinister, of course, is a title that people seem to be enjoying. This is Kieran Gillen shepherding in a new X-Men status quo, so to speak. And Immortal X-Men has changed to Immoral X-Men now. Again, if you had Immortal X-Men on your pull list, I put Immortal X-Men in your box, so you can, if you do want it, it's there. If you don't, I'll just stick it out in the racks, but just didn't want you to miss out. So Kieran Gillen and Jesus Medina on that one. We got in a few facsimiles of New Mutants 98, so of course first appearance of Deadpool and Gideon and sort of Domino, but if you know the story, it's not actually Domino. But yeah, facsimiles, so complete perfect reprints of that. We have new Carnage this week. The covers continue to be knocked out of the park on these. Ram V continued on with Carnage. I love Carnage. I actually think it's a better title than Venom, but it has about half the amount of pulls in the store. A new Deadpool issue out this week as well, Alyssa Wong. So we're up to #4. We seem to be drifting into the X universe with that. We have Amazing Spider-Man #20. This, of course, is the second part of the Joe Kelly, Terry Dodson, sort of an interlude Black Cat and Spider-Man story. Showcasing one of the worst dates or worst weekend getaways in history. I was talking about facsimiles, of course. We have Amazing Spider-Man 129 facsimiles, first appearance of the Punisher. So again, perfect reprints. You don't have to pay $2,000 for an actual 129 that's falling apart. Here's a pristine copy, recreated lovingly with adverts and all. And then we finish off the Marvel section with Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain. So a brand new #1 from Tina Howard, again expanding the X universe. We move from there and on to DC, and a lot of quality this week with DC. A lot of quality this week all around. It's just a really strong week comics-wise. So if we go on to DC, we have one of my favourite titles of the week. I may have already read it, which is Batman One Bad Day Clayface. So Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig writing on this one, and Zermanico is the artist. So again, this is part 7. Well, they're all one-shots, but it's part 7 of the One Bad Day banner, just Ra's al Ghul to come after this. But yeah, this was absolutely fantastic. Also talking about absolutely fantastic, and a great one-shot issue, actually. I mean, you could have this as a starting point for World's Finest to a degree. Mark Waid, and it's actually an artist, Emanuela Lupacino, doing the art this time. Dan Mora has done the cover. World's Finest #12. It's called Batman Superman, but this is basically a Robin Supergirl issue and the worst date ever. So much fun, tons of charm, really, really good. Next up we have To Cease War of the Undead Gods with the #6 of 8. I think the series has maybe not reached the heights of the previous Deceased books. I don't know maybe whether lethargy is kicking in or not, but this issue may have contained my favourite moment ever in the Deceased universe across all volumes. The last 4 to 5 pages gave me genuine chills reading this. Absolutely fantastic. Next up we have The Flash 793. So this time we're continuing on with the 1 Minute War. We're up to part 4 of that. So Jeremy Adams and Roger Cruz continuing with that. I've mentioned it in the variant section, but it's the last one shot for the Lazarus Planet Omega this time. So Superstore Morning. This looks like it's going to set up where a lot of the DC stuff is going from here. So Mark Waid continuing to shepherd that through. Then we have, I will say it was a great week. It really is a great week. Nightwing 101. So Tom Taylor on this one. Travis Moore on art, sharing duties with this. And again, I've already read it. Another fantastic issue. Superman #1 is this week. So under the Dawn of DC banner, Joshua Williamson taking over, Jamal Campbell on art. Again, I have read this, and again, it was very, very strong. I'm not a big Superman guy. I've never hidden that fact. I think he works better in small doses personally. Just my personal opinion. But this was really, really strong. Tons of great setup, great art, very intriguing going forward. And then we also have out this week Superman Space Age #3. This is the last issue of this. These were oversized issues each time, square bound, 64 pagers from Mark Russell and the All Red. So that concludes that series. And then we finish off with the indie stuff. Slightly smaller indie week this week. We have Frank Miller's Ronin Book 2. So Frank Miller continuing on with his Ronin universe under his Frank Miller Presents publishing label. Philip Tan, the artist on that. I mentioned Blue Book before. This is the new title from James Tynion IV. Michael Avan Oweming on art duties for this. So yeah, brand new conspiracy thriller from James Tynion. I believe he did have that through his Substack, but now it's the first time in print. We have Damn Them All, issue 5. So Simon Spurrier and Charlie Adler continuing there. Fantastic supernatural title. We have Gargoyles #3. Again, this is proven popular in store. A lot of nostalgia wrapped up in this. A new title from Tim Seeley this month is Local Man. I don't know an awful lot about this. I've stuck a copy aside for myself just to give it a go. But as I say, brand new #1. If you're a Tim Seeley fan, you'll probably be all over this. Especially given that you follow our quota of following artists and creators. Magic Order #4. Magic Order 4 #2. Continuing on this great series. I've always loved Magic Order. I think it's class. And then this was actually out last week, but we were shorted a lot of our copies. Masters of the Universe Masterverse, which seems to just continue this trend of multiverses and so forth. Tim Seeley again working on that. And so a little bit of He-Man Masters of the Universe stuff there. So yeah, that's all the stuff going out this week in terms of going on to the racks, all the variants of course as well. So we'll move from there and on to graphics and collected editions that are in this week. So again, quite a lot ordered. First up is this one called Messages in a Bottle. This is comic book stories by Bernard Krigstein. Now this is someone I'd never really heard of before, but we did a creator interview last week. It'll be going live on both the YouTube channel and the podcast network in the next day or so. But this was their favorite indie book of all time. They flashed it up, showed us some stuff. Looked really, really good. Working in comics for just over a decade, Bernard Kingston applied all of his craft, intelligence, and ambition of a burgeoning serious artist, achieving results that remain stunning to this day. While his legend rests mostly on the landmark narratives created for EC Comics, dozens of stories for lesser publishers equally showcase his singular draftsmanship and radical reinterpretation of the comics page. So this basically has 20 stories that he had worked on. They've been recolored by Marie Severin, who was a legendary EC colorist as well. And it's been put into one edition. You've also got original art pages, photostats from personal archives, and an extensive set of historical and editorial notes as well. So again, I grabbed one of these myself. And anytime creators recommend stuff as being like their personal favorite things, I always like to jump on that. So let's see what we've got. We'll start at this end. So start off with the omnibuses. First up we have Batman by Grant Morrison. So Omnibus Volume 2. This essentially covers his Batman and Robin run, which was when Dick Grayson was Batman and Damian Wayne was Robin. Also contains some of his Batman issues from Batman R.I.P. and then Batman The Return of Bruce Wayne as well. So if you love your Grant Morrison stuff, those omnibuses are the best way to go. Another omnibus new this week is Hulk Planet Hulk. So this is from Greg Pak and Carlo Pagulan. The most incredible Hulk story ever told. So this collects Fantastic Four issues, Incredible Hulk issues, Giant Size Hulk issues, What If Planet Hulk issues, and a guidebook as well. So yeah, nice big Hulk volume there, brand new out this week. Also brand new out this week is the collected edition of Captain America by Nick Spencer. This is very much a love it or hate it run. I really liked it. Again, I have a copy of this for myself. This was where he essentially came up with the narrative that Steve Rogers had been a sleeper agent for Hydra all this time. But yeah, really enjoyed that, and that also shepherds through Sam Wilson as Captain America. I've been getting the Invincible volumes back in stock, the hardcovers. So again, I've just been ordering one a week, essentially, because they're pricey bad boys. So we're up to volume 5 now, so this will collect issues 48 to 59, and also the tie-in issue of the Astounding Wolfman, also done by Robert Kirkman. Next up is the final volume of Joker from James Tynion IV. So this was awesome. I love this series, 15 issues. It started off with a mysterious woman hiring James Gordon to kill the Joker, and she would pay him a fortune and allow him to retire, well, and he would also get to kill the Joker. But of course, he's always been a man of law the whole time. Can he really bring himself to do that? But yeah, it was 15 issues in total, absolutely fantastic, and a really great deep dive into the Joker as well. Next up, we have Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files #1. So this is going to be another section I'm going to try and start filling out on a weekly basis. Just getting new volumes of The Complete Case Files. But if you want to kick things off from the very start, volume 1's in stock from this week. We have a couple of epic collections here. We have Doctor Strange Nightmare on Bleecker Street. This is volume 11. This covers Doctor Strange in the 90s, 92 to 94. Contains issues from Sorcerer Supreme, Annual, some Morbius issues, and material from Marvel Comics Presents. If you've ever wanted to get into Daredevil, here's your ground zero, and why wouldn't you? He is Marvel's best character. Spidey fans, come at me. So this collects Here Comes Daredevil numbers 1 to 21. So this is volume 1, covers 1964 to 1966, and of course that's Stan Lee, John Romita. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. Get on Daredevil, kids. Much better. Speaking of Daredevil, you've got the new volume from Chip Zdarsky out this week, which they've subtitled Daredevil and Elektra, which makes sense given how pivotal a role she plays in it. But also I think it differentiates the Daredevil by Zdarsky from the previous volume as well, so it keeps it simple. So yeah, this collects Daredevil 1 to 5 by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Checchetto, and again explores that burgeoning relationship with Elektra. We have a new volume of Star Wars Bounty Hunters, The Raid on the Vermilion. This collects Star Wars Bounty Hunters 23 to 28. We have Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. Now, I can't recommend this series enough. This is by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, with art by Maria de Ulias and Carmen Pinheiro. I was a big fan, and I'm a big fan of the Ed Brubaker Cap run. I thought nothing would come close to that. This is coming close to it. It's turning Cap into sort of a worldwide spy. It's very noir-y. It's very cloak and dagger. Absolutely brilliant. They relaunched 2 series, Sentinel of Liberty and Symbol of Truth. Symbol of Truth is Sam Wilson, and it's a fun series as well, but for me this is the pick of the bunch, and really goes into Steve's relationship with Bucky quite extensively as well. Also this week we have the softcover of Batman the Neighborhood. So this was when Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora took over on Detective Comics. We've had it in hardcover in store. It's now been released in trade paperback if you prefer these editions, little cheaper in the wallet. And yeah, this collects Detective Comics 1034 to 1039. We have a new volume this week of Amazing Spider-Man. So volume 3, this covers 9 to 14 from the Zeb Wells run. This is prior to the Dark Web stuff, but that goes into a lot of Hobgoblin stuff. But yeah, I'm loving that run in general. Next up is Golden Rage from Chrissy Williams and Lauren Knight. This was an Image Comics mini-series. Old women have been deemed useless to society and are abandoned on an island where they must make friends, bake dessert, and fight to the death for survival. Battle Royale meets the Golden Girls. That is a phrase I never thought I would ever say. Next up we have Edge of Spider-Verse. So this is a new collected edition for that. So Edge of Spider-Verse from last year, issues 1 to 5. Tons of great creators working on this. Being set up, of course, as the end of the Spider-Verse is coming. Again, I'm always getting in the Walking Dead volumes to try and make sure we have a full run of that at all times. These are volumes 28, 29, and 30, so very much towards the end of the run. Another one I'm trying to keep in stock all the time is Sandman, these lovely book editions. I really don't like this Netflix series logo, but we'll ignore that. But yeah, this is Sandman book 1 back in stock. So if you're into Sandman, this is it from the start. This collects the first 20 issues, which is the first 3 story arcs. And it also includes the first comic book to ever win a World Fantasy Award, issue 19's A Midsummer Night's Dream. And then a couple just to finish off with. We have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, the complete graphic novel from Rampart and Simon DeMeo. So that collects that entire mini-series. And then we finish off with a volume again. I always just like highlighting titles that I love, and I always just, get them in to, again, make sure we have all volumes in stock. But yeah, Once and Future from Kieran Gillen, Dan Moore, and Tamara Bonvillain. This was volume 3, just to fill out that amount on the shelf. So yeah, these are all going on to the racks in the next 5 minutes because I really need to get to work. But as ever, anything catches your eye or whatever, just get in touch. We'll get you sorted. Or if you want certain titles put on your pull list or things like that, drop us a message. But other than that, as I say, I have to get my ass in gear, set this up. But I look forward to seeing you in the store throughout the next few days, guys. So I hope you're keeping well out there, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy.